Have you ever noticed how kind you can be to some people? A friend gets divorced and you tell her she's doing her best. A colleague makes a mistake and you tell them no one's perfect. Your daughter is struggling and you remind her that life can be hard sometimes. And yet, when it comes to yourself, the rules seem to be completely different. You replay conversations from years ago. You question decisions that you've made with information that you had at the time. And you carry guilt for things that were never entirely yours to carry. And somewhere along the way, being hard on yourself feels normal. And if you've ever felt like you're not good enough, like everyone else seems to have it all figured out, like you're carrying a weight you just can't explain, then this conversation might explain why. Because sometimes the reason that you don't feel good enough has little to do with who you are. It has a lot to do with the judgment that you're carrying about how your life has unfolded. In this video, I want to talk about something that sits underneath so much self-doubt and low confidence and feeling like you're quite never enough. Judgment. Not the judgment that people place on you, the judgment that we place on ourselves. Because sometimes the reason we don't feel good enough isn't about who we are. It's because we've spent years quietly judging ourselves for things that didn't go to plan. And if that's you, I want to help you recognize a few signs because many of us are carrying judgment without even realizing that we're doing it. Hi, I'm Deborah, a hair expert, self-image mentor, and here at Quiet Mirror Moments, we explore the relationship a woman has with herself because it shapes the experiences in her life. I don't think judgment always arrives loudly. Most of the time, it arrives quietly. It sounds like I should be further by now. My life shouldn't look like this. I should have known better. I shouldn't be struggling like this. And the thing is, we often don't notice we're even doing it. We think we're just thinking. We think we're being realistic. We think we're being responsible. But often we're judging ourselves. I only realized this morning. I recorded a podcast episode that was my most emotional one that I've recorded, not because I was sharing a story. I've told parts of that story before. But what surprised me was that I realized while I was telling it, I realized how hard I'd been on myself, how much judgment I'd been carrying, how many decisions I had been holding on and just wouldn't let them go until I said it out loud. Has that ever happened to you? You say something out loud and suddenly you realize, oh, that's what this is really about. That's what's sitting underneath all of this. And that's what made me start thinking about how many women are walking around carrying things they've never questioned, not because they're true, but because they've repeated them to themselves for long enough. I see it all the time. A woman talks about divorce that happened years ago, but still carries the belief that somehow she failed. Another woman looks at her career and sees only the opportunities that she missed. Someone else looks at her relationship with her children and focuses entirely on what she thinks she got wrong. Another woman reaches her 50s and thinks she should feel more confident by now. Someone else believes she should have more money, more success, more certainty, more answers. And underneath all of it is the same thing. Life was supposed to look different. That's what this is all about. Life was supposed to look different. Maybe you thought you'd still be married. Maybe you thought your business would go further along. Maybe you thought you'd have everything figured out by now. Maybe you thought your relationships would be easier. Maybe you even thought that finally you would feel comfortable in your own skin. And because life didn't go or follow a plan, you quietly started judging yourself because of the gap to what you imagined and where you are. And the longer we carry that judgment, it starts becoming normal. We stop noticing it. We simply carry it day after day, year after year. And that's where this gets really interesting because life happens. Relationships end. Businesses don't always work. Friendships change. Plans change. Sometimes things happen that we never would have chosen. And years later, we're still standing, pointing fingers at ourselves, still trying to work out what we should have done differently, still carrying the version of the story where somehow everything was our fault. It's exhausting because while we're busy judging ourselves, we can't see ourselves clearly. We're looking at ourselves through a filter that only sees what went wrong. And when that is the filter that we're looking through, of course, we're not going to feel good enough. Nothing will ever feel enough, not our achievements, not our relationships, not our appearance, not our healing, not even the progress that we've made. Because judgment keeps moving the goalposts. The more I thought about it this week, the more I realized that sometimes we aren't struggling with confidence. We're struggling with the way we've been judging ourselves. So here's your quiet mirror moment. What is the story that you're holding against yourself? Not the event, not the circumstance, the story. The one that says you should have known better. The one that says you should have done more. The one that says your life should look different by now. And if a woman you loved came to you carrying the same story, would you judge her the way that you judge yourself? Or would you offer her understanding? Perhaps the place to begin isn't fixing anything. Perhaps it's simply noticing the judgment you've been carrying for so long that it started to feel like truth. If this conversation resonated with you, I'd love to know. What is one expectation you're holding yourself against? Leave a comment below. And if you'd like more conversations like this about confidence, self-image, the relationship you have with yourself, you're welcome to subscribe. And if you'd like to hear the personal story that I recorded, I've shared the link to the podcast. And the episode is called The Judgment We Carry When Life Doesn't Go to Plan. Thank you for spending this time with me. And until next time, be gentle with yourself. I'll see you in the next quiet mirror moment.